to Super Mario Brothers, the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, where we get you caught up for the greatest event in the history of cinema. We'll just go cinema this week. All cinema. Avengers: Infinity War. I'm Brendon.
I'm Connor.
This is it.
Dude, we are on the precipice.
This is the cusp of greatness.
Yeah, we are on the edge of glory.
Yeah, on the highway to the danger zone.
Highway to the MFing danger zone.
Yep. This is Thor Ragnarok.
Hey, how appropriate? How appropriate, because it's all going to be on the line next week.
Oh yeah, because we're tearing everything down. So this came out last year. You did not see this in theaters.
It took me like forever, so this was a movie I totally intended to see in theaters, and then once busy life gets in the way, and it was like, oh, I can't. My friends couldn't go this weekend. Blah 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 blah. And I have this weird thing where I don't like going to movies by myself because that just feels weird.
This is kind of weird.
But yeah.
This made $122 million on a $180 million budget in opening weekend.
It didn't make its budget?
On opening weekend.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Worldwide gross was $853 million.
Okay. I was going to say, people like this movie.
Oh, I think it is I think we're both going to agree. I mean, we haven't done a ranking yet, but this is probably the best Thor movie.
Oh, yeah, no. This is definitely the best Thor movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have some problems with it. I think a lot of people give it a lot of passes still.
Yes.
Looking at it, but I think it is a huge improvement over the garbage it was Thor 2.
I gotta say, before we get into it, I had a discussion with some people last weekend, I believe. And we were discussing Marvel movies because, Infinity War and all that. And somehow Thor got brought up. And they were like, Thor's alright. And I was like, Dark World's trash. And they defended it.
There are Dark World defenders.
And I'm like, when was the last time you watched it? Because it's pretty bad.
Hashtag Dark World defenders.
Like,
there was a coworker I work with that says that's better than Thor 1.
Well, you're going to have to tell me their name later off the podcast so I can...
Off the record, I will say that. I think there's only one person I really work with that would really talk about this.
Okay, yeah. You
know who this is.
You right.
But anyway, yeah, let's just get back into it. Get into this movie real quick. We start off on... What's the plan? You're the...
I've been playing a lot of God of War recently, so my Norse mythology is as caught up as it's ever been.
So what's the plan?
Muspelheim.
Yeah. And we find Thor in a cage.
Yep.
Despite all his rage, he's just
a Thor in a cage.
Thor in a cage. And we meet Soltyr.
So, dude, Norse names are stupid because sometimes they just don't have vowels. Sutir, I think?
Sutir, yeah, Sutir. I'm gonna go Sutir.
Alright, fire dude.
Yeah, a giant fire demon thing. And we find out that he's actually the part of the prophecy of Ragnarok, that his goal is to destroy all of Asgard, and Thor says, well, that's not going to happen. And we get a really cool opening montage.
So, we kind of get a hint of what I think this movie's biggest issue is, and that is, it's hard to have a funny movie, but I feel like they tried to make this a Guardians funny movie.
Yeah, there's a definitely a balance.
Like, because with Guardians, it's like, alright, I know this is going to be ridiculous.
And I guess because the first two Thors have not prepared you for this.
No, the first two Thors, all things considered, were relatively serious.
Very serious.
I mean,
I think the problem is they're too serious.
The most jokes you get is Thor's a stranger in a strange land. Like he just doesn't get it.
I need a horse.
And in this one, you're in a realm where he pretty much should be getting it.
Yeah, and he's just a little... Maybe he's because he's so comfortable that he's just... I don't know.
But, like, there's a scene where Sutir's talking to him, and he's just spinning in the chain, and sometimes he's not facing him. He's like, oh, wait, give me a second, I'll be around your way in a second. And it's like, that's not necessary,
Yeah, and there's a couple different points like that in the movie. Not just with Thor, but just in general in this movie.
Well, the fact that they do that joke once is like, all right, it's good for a chuckle. The fact that they do it twice.
Yeah, you even said, come on.
Yeah.
This is
I've seen most of the movie. I did not see the very beginning before, and I was just watching. I was like, come on. Like, you do not need a second.
You were verbally, saying this. It was... But anyway, we get this opening montage scene of him, escaping.
It is really cool.
It's really cool. You get some good music with it. You see
music. They track the hammer for some of it, so you see Thor.
Which is kind of like the last homage to it. This is like its last hurrah.
Yeah. I mean, they had to give it give it a really awesome part.
Yeah.
So, like, because there's a cool part where they're tracking the hammer and then you just see Thor in the background, and it's like, okay, that's pretty rad. Mm-hmm. So Thor is escaping Muspelheim, and he calls Heimdall to bring him back via the Bifrost, but it's not happening.
Because Scourge is there.
Because we cut to the Bifrost room, and there's Scourge entertaining two ladies with his
stuff.
With his collection of stuff.
Oh man, when you say it like that, you gotta...
That's why I had to say collection of stuff.
Yeah, he has been using the Bifrost to go steal things.
He had a moped.
His most prized possession are two, I'm assuming AR-15s, named Dez and Troy from Texas. But he gets called. Thor gets called in there. He comes in with a dragon head because the dragon was chasing him.
And that thing's slipping slides, man. I'm pretty sure if we got a fit, if Neil deGrasse Tyson was here, he would say the mass of that dragon head and the viscosity of the blood would not let it slide that far because it goes for a minute.
Pretty sure Neil deGrasse Tyson would have a lot more questions if he was here right now than that. Like, why are there two gentlemen in their 20s doing a podcast about Marvel movies?
Well, what's he doing? What is he on, like Bill Nye? Like, what's he doing?
Bill.
Yeah. So, Scourge is like, oh, blah, blah, I have to announce you. And then Thor flies off.
Yeah, again, another comment. That one's not too bad, though.
That one's not. That one's more believable because Thor's just kind of, like, rash like that he would fly off into Asgard to see what's up.
So we go to Asgard, where we see a giant statue of Loki now.
Yep. First red flag.
We see that Sir Anthony Hopkins, playing Odin again, is watching a play, which I love the fact they actually got real famous actors to play the parts in this shoddy play.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Matt Damon's playing Loki. They got the other Hemsworth playing Thor.
Which that was a good use of him.
So they go to this play. Thor doesn't know what's going on, and he kind of puts two and two together when he sees all this.
When he says hi to Odin, Odin's like, oh crap. He totally didn't.
But he didn't say crap.
He didn't say crap. But we gotta keep this family friendly
as much as we can.
Yes.
So he uses Mjolnir actually as a way to pull him out of this.
That was really awesome because that is totally a crazy that was. Thor had to be 100% right, because if not, he was in deep. Because he literally grabbed Odin's hand. It was like, did you know nothing will get in Mjolnir's way to return to my hand? Not even your face. And he's like, you'll be executed. He's like, I'll see you on the other side then. And he's just calling Mjolnir back. It's rocketing towards Odin's head. It's so funny. And then Odin says, all right, I give, and turns into Loki.
So we found that Loki did not die, as we all knew after Thor 2.
Mm-hmm.
So now Thor's wondering, well, where is Odin? And Loki says, well, I know exactly where he is. And they go to a retirement home in the middle of New York City that's being destroyed.
Yep. And it's pretty funny. I think where they do comedy right is when they get Loki and Thor together. Because it's relatable for us, because it's very much those are brothers. It's just I left them right here.
It's just two brothers.
It's just two brothers.
Two brothers in New York at an abandoned retirement home.
But Loki's I left him right here. And Thor's well, clearly.
And I do the other thing they do well here is this scene is they have these people come up to Thor to get selfies, but they kind of just ignore Loki.
Yeah,
which I think is really funny. We also find out that Jane has dumped Thor.
Well, I dumped her. It was a mutual dumping.
Marvel dumped Thor. I mean,
Marvel dumped Jane.
Yeah,
hard.
No, Marvel's in love with Thor right now.
No, the one line I do like is when Loki says, "Well, I can't see the future. I'm not a witch," and Thor's just why do you dress like one then?
That was pretty funny. Yeah, because he's in an all black suit.
Yeah.
Then we see some magic.
Oh yeah, the little portal opens up under Loki, and he disappears, and a business card's left that just gives him Thor an address. And he goes to that address, and it's the Sanctum.
Yeah,
from Doctor Strange.
So this one, I think it's kind of nice because you connect Strange more with the MCU. Basically, Strange is just wondering why are there two Asgardians here? Thor explains he's just trying to find Odin, and the whole point is Strange says, "Well, if I help you find him, you'll leave." And he says, "Yeah." So that's what it comes down to.
Which is kind of good because it's Strange doing his job because he's supposed to protect the world from cosmic threats.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes two aliens, highly powerful magic aliens, essentially.
Yeah, And the one thing I like that they do here is they kind of show how much power Strange has.
How many parlor tricks he can pull off at once.
It is literally just him, like, messing with Thor for a solid 10 minutes of the movie.
He's like, instead of walking, he just teleports him. And, like, there's a point where he gives him a glass of beer.
And it fills up in front of him.
Yeah.
And while they're doing that, they have just left Loki in a dimension where he's been falling for 45 straight minutes.
Yeah. That's pretty good when he comes back. He's like, I've been falling for 30 minutes! Also, what's funny is Thor does this whole I don't get it thing, and he's like, well, you could have sent an electronic message. It's called an email. Like, do you even... Or no, he says, you could have called. He's like, do you even have a phone? He's like, no. Which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's Thor trying to get used to technology. And then the final scene that I really like here is he has disguised Mjolnir as an umbrella. Mm-hmm. And he calls the umbrella back, and you can just hear it smashing everything in the sanctum. And Thor's just like... Sorry about that. So that's a really good scene.
Well, he's got the time gem. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Nothing matters in the Marvel universe anymore.
No consequences! Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, basically. So they go to Norway, and we see Sir Anthony Hopkins playing Odin again. Very reserved character.
Rocking that old man look. Dude.
He's got that old man look. Old man game strong.
Literally dressed like our grandfather.
He is not acting like a bear.
No. Needs more... You know, we were hoping after Dark World, he's like, you know what this was missing? You know what this is the reason Dark World failed? Not enough Hopkins bear. They did not fix that problem.
But he's very subtle, very reserved. He kind of talks about kind of the mistake... He's kind of reflecting on the mistakes he's made in life. Mm-hmm. And then he says that they have a sister and that she is coming now because he's going to be passing away. And then he turns into fairy dust and disappears. Mm-hmm. And as he's doing that... Hela is released from whatever prison she was in.
Yeah, I don't know. They never say. They never say like if it's hell or anything, which is one of the 9 realms, but whatever.
So she comes back. She's the goddess of death,
and apparently swords.
Yeah, swords.
She makes a lot of weapons. It's a cool power, and I think they do it well. But
so the whole process, the point here is she tells them they need to kneel because she is the rightful heir to Asgard, which. Technically, she is.
She's Odin's eldest.
They obviously refuse to do that, and Thor throws Mjolnir at her, which gives the very famous scene, which I wish they had not used in the trailer.
Yeah, that was like their main advertising point, and I was like, why would you ruin that? Because they break Mjolnir, and it's like, first of all, that metal is stronger than vibranium, because Uru, and man, they break that like nothing.
Yeah, she shatters it. Mjolnir's gone. Loki, in a panic, calls the Bifrost. But they're so close to Hela that she can jump into it, too.
So they're fighting in the Bifrost, and they both get thrown out. Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I do like Hela gets there, and the Warriors 3... Well, 2 of the Warriors 3 are there, and she basically kills them without even thinking of it.
Which, I wish I cared.
Yeah, it's almost like if these characters had been developed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. If Dark World spent time to do that.
Even the first Thor built on what they did because they started to.
Yeah. And Dark World was like, hey, we saved Vanheim, Mace Samurai.
Here, stay here now.
Yeah. That's it. That's the last we saw of Mace Samurai until this movie.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. Mace Samurai. And Mace Samurai was like the coolest one.
He's pretty cool.
I only call him Mace Samurai because he has a mace and he fights like a samurai.
And I don't even know his name.
No, his name is Mace Samurai, as far as I'm concerned.
He's
then related to Mace
cut to Thor in a giant trash heap on another planet.
Otherwise, not Thor 2. Actually a trash heap.
Yeah, it's actually just Malekith's body still just laying there.
It's the entire plot of Thor 2. It's a giant pile of Thor 2 DVDs.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. He is about to be attacked by these people, but then Valkyrie comes, and she is kind of a she's dumpster diver, basically.
Yeah. She like, I guess, brings useful stuff back to the city.
Yeah, and she sees Thor, puts a tracker on her, shocks him down, and then takes him to the Collector.
Would you think he'd be immune to that?
Yeah.
Unless it's not, like, shocking, but it seems like it's shocking.
I feel like it's, like, shocking, but it's, like, paralyzing nerves.
Yeah, that's what it looks like with the veins and stuff. Kind of like from Iron Man 1, actually.
You know what? You're not wrong.
With the little Sonic thing.
Hmm.
Why didn't they do that? Why weren't they just like, oh yeah, we found this technology a long time ago, blah, 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 blah. And it was just the thing from Iron Man 1.
And they would have said, like, it's the one useful thing Earth's ever made or something.
Yeah.
That would actually be really funny.
It would have been funny, and it would have been like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I remember.
Yeah. Huh.
So, we go and meet the Grandmaster, played by the Goldblum.
Oh man, the legend. The legendary Goldblum. I was so happy he was in the MCU. I was so happy they gave him a crazy character like this.
I just love the fact that he's playing himself and not acting.
No, yeah, I feel like they gave him a script, and then he was like, okay, well, that's great. I'm not going to follow this.
I'm Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. I literally don't have to care.
And he plays the character perfectly as this eccentric Grandmaster who's basically the lord of this planet.
Yeah.
They said he ages differently than everyone else. Like, he's really...
He's like
been there for thousands of years old, and his basically people that come to this planet, they can't. Sakaar.
Yeah.
If you come to the planet, you can't leave the planet. You're stuck there forever. And
what I like about this planet is it's a really cool concept. Is that it's this like this is a reference you won't get, but like for those of you who play Kingdom Hearts, the Traverse Town, like it's the cosmic dump. It's where everything lost in like dimensional travel ends up. And I think that's really cool because you get like all these this crazy mismatch of like tech and stuff. Mm-hmm. I just really like that concept for like a world in general.
We find out Loki has actually been there for a couple weeks ahead of time because Bifrost time magic.
Yeah, because
Odin Force,
space travel, Odin magic,
Pym particles,
Odin magically enhanced Pym particles.
Yes, that. So he's actually getting in good with the Grandmaster, but he can't do anything to help Thor because he doesn't want to lose that. So Thor is sent to kind of the dungeons where they keep the gladiators, the fighters.
Not slaves. Prisoners with jobs.
Prisoners with jobs is exactly the title they used. Mm-hmm. And we meet Korg.
Yes.
Let's just do it now. I like Korg. I think Korg's great. I think he's a little too funny, but I think he's a nice little breakaway character.
I think Korg ruins the tone of this movie on a consistent basis. I think there are points where Korg's funny. The intro to Korg is funny. Because it's like, okay, that makes sense.
When he's explaining his revolution and he didn't print enough pamphlets?
Yeah, like, that's funny, but, like, there are several points in the movie where he totally ruins the tone.
There are a couple points where he does Iron Man 3 in a little bit.
Yeah.
Where he's just a little too funny for what the scene calls. But I think it's enough just to shake up or breaking things up. Like, yes. I think that scene at the end, very bad.
Oh, yeah, no, that is my damning scene for Korg.
And I agree with you on that, but I think he does more good than bad. Yeah. Also meet Meek.
Meek's pretty funny as, like, the straight, quote-unquote, the straight man. Just because he can't talk. Mm-hmm. I think Meek's pretty funny. Yeah, so Korg is like, oh, one drum. Well, you gave me an interesting fact about Korg. Didn't you say that was the director?
It is the director.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah, the Korg is played by the director. I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry. I know he's from New Zealand.
I was gonna say it's very Australian-esque.
It is Takika Waititi.
Oh, wow, that is a name.
Watati. I think it's Watati, maybe.
Anyway, forever, man.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah, he does another movie he's done that's very well done it's called What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
It's a kind of like a comedy. It's a mockumentary about these like three vampires living together, which is why you get that joke in the middle. Is like if you had three vampires.
Wow! If I knew that joke would have been funny.
The movie's actually pretty funny.
I kind of want to watch that. That sounds like it's funny.
It's on Amazon Prime, or it was.
Okay.
So you can watch it then. Huh. It is a pretty funny movie because like one of them's like the old school Dracula, like thousands of years old, and plays like a super old dude. And they're all roommates, and the other ones are like these super new ones. And
that's funny.
It's pretty funny. So he does a pretty good job, I think, with the tone of this movie. We also get a little bit more background between Thor and Loki here.
Yeah.
Him explaining, basically Loki trying to rationalize all his decisions, but Thor is so like passionate and emotional about what's happened because he's lost his hammer and his dad in the span of a
What I like about this movie is Thor's totally like done with the illusions and stuff. Like, Thor's so past Loki's tricks, and that was, like, the biggest complaint about Thor and Loki when they were in a film together is, like, he always falls for it. And this is the movie where he's like, I'm not falling for it.
Yeah, he actually starts playing the trick back to him, which Loki's not expecting.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
What I love is that when Loki's talking to him in the prison, he's just throwing rocks at the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like...
And they're just going straight through him.
Which we still have not figured out. Does Loki's magics literally work like a puppet? Does he have to do the exact stuff? So is he, like, talking to a wall somewhere?
I'm going to say yes because it's not proven and I want it to be true.
And it's funnier, and it makes Thor 1 way funnier.
Oh, it makes Thor 1 hysterical.
Yeah, it's just he's in this throne room with the 2 guards. We went over that in our Thor 1 podcast, but I still love that joke. That, like, these 2 guards are like, dude, this new king's crazy!
So yeah, I'm going to go with it. We also, Thor's basically been promised that if he can beat the champion, they'll give him a ship to get off, even though they say it's not going to happen.
Right.
And Loki then says, I put a big bet against you tomorrow, don't let me down.
Yeah.
Cut back to Asgard.
Yeah, Hela is kind of walking up into the main square and is like, you know, once I ran this place and now you guys are trying to kick me out. And she continues to slaughter the entire Asgardian army.
Like, it's not even a contest.
And I guess that's like to, again, give her some power scaling of like she's super dangerous.
I think what this proves to me, this brings up the question, how the heck did Asgard ever conquer anything? Because I've not seen their soldiers put up a fight really against anyone except the Frost Giants for like 2 seconds.
And then like it always ended up where Odin or Thor came in to save the day.
Yeah, they're not good.
Or I guess in Thor 2, Odin's dad. But
yeah, but there's not one time I've actually been scared of Asgardians.
No,
like Wakanda. Yeah, that's a crazy army.
Because they actually showed them fighting and doing stuff.
Remember, I think it was the Black Panther episode where we said who would win in a fight, an army of Wakandans or an army of Asgardians? I forgot about that. Yeah, the Wakandans are going to win easily.
No, yeah.
Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, seeing this was proof.
Yeah. So, Scourge has switched sides and decided to support Hela, and Hela has made him her executioner.
Right, which apparently one time in Asgardian society was like the king's right hand.
Yeah, he helped execute their dream and kill people.
Yes.
We also then get the backstory how it's actually interesting how they do it. They destroy the mural in the throne room.
Yeah, and it was like done over it.
And it explains the story how they used to they conquered all the 9 realms, and she wanted to go farther, and Odin didn't, so that's why she's locked away because he knew how dangerous she was.
Right.
And finally, before we leave Asgard again, we go into the chamber or the trophy room. She gets the eternal flame and wakes up every dead Asgardian soldier that's below Asgard.
And Fenrir.
Who's apparently not rotted. He's just stuffed.
Yeah, taxidermy. Asgardian taxidermy.
Maybe that's what they're good at.
Taxidermy?
Yeah, that's actually the thing
Asgard, not known for their warriors or godlike abilities. We're really good at taxidermy, though.
I believe it.
Why do you have a giant squirrel? That's Ratatosker.
I guess one more thing before we leave Asgard, we find out that, I don't know if this happens exactly then, but just because we're on the train of thought, Heimdall is leading a little bit of a resistance in saving people.
Yes. He's gathering the Asgardians who are running away and keeping them in a mountain fortress built by their ancestors.
And he also has the sword to open the Bifrost. So right now, they are stuck, Hela and her army is stuck on Asgard.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm. And it gives Thor time to sort things out.
Yeah.
So now on Sakaar, we're getting ready for the main event.
The big fight.
Again, this is my biggest marketing issue I've had with this movie.
Oh, before you get there. So they're suiting up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we get Korg joking around and Thor going on about his hammer. And there's some jokes in there about the hammer pulling him off and blah, blah, blah. But, Korg, what I do think is actually legitimately funny is when characters totally break down the exact scene that just happened. And Thor's just like, yes, I lost my hammer. It was blah, 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 blah. And Korg was like, wow, it sounds like losing this hammer. It sounds like you had a very close and intimate relationship with this hammer, and losing it was like that of losing a close relative.
That was pretty
funny. And it was just like, I don't know why that's funny when a character totally breaks down exactly what that scene was intended to portray, but it is. Also, we find out Valkyrie was a Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, we found out Valkyrie was a Valkyrie and how much Thor wanted to be a Valkyrie when he was growing up.
But yeah, but then you found out they were all women, but not in a bad way, and yeah, putting Thor in an awkward situation.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Oh, and then we come to what we all come to these movies for, the Lee cameo. You don't like this one?
It's okay.
I like this one. I think it holds up with having a good Lee cameo.
So yeah, Thor has to get ready to go into the arena, which means he needs a new haircut because all that long hair, you can't see his face when it's getting beat up. So we get the crazy...
Hold still, my hands aren't as steady as they used to be, and then pretty much opens a galactic weed whacker.
Yeah, and Thor's begging him not to use it.
Yeah, no, he starts threatening. He's like, "Oh, I will rain down the power of Thor upon you," and then he opens the weed whacker. He's like, "Please, sir, don't cut my hair."
But it gets cut, and he looks stylish. He looks nice now.
Good, dude. He looks way better with short hair.
He does. He goes into the arena main event time. They build it up, but the problem... this was a huge marketing problem I have. And I kind of get why they had to do it.
But it sucks that they did.
But I don't like it, because we all knew what was going to happen in this scene was that Hulk was going to come out there as the champion.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking...
Hulk.
This is basically their way of trying to do Planet Hulk without doing Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
But it just makes me think, like, how crazy would it have been? You go to this theater.
Opening night,
let's just say, or even opening weekend.
Yeah.
You see this main event, and you're like, all right, who's Thor going to have to
fight?
Yeah,
is it going to be Beta Ray Bill? Like, what reference are they going to throw in
Or the way I was saying is, like, he's going to beat this dude in, like, 30 seconds, and everything's going to be crazy. And then you see the Hulk come out, and you're like, oh, man, what just happened?
Yeah, like, oh, this is where he was! Like, yeah.
But everyone knew it was happening, so this is a big marketing problem I have with this movie. So
the only way this gets recovered is this is a really good fight scene.
Oh, it is a great fight scene. And it's very well done. He tries to rationalize with the Hulk, but basically he's trying to rationalize with Banner really. Yeah. But the Hulk says it's just the Hulk. Banner's not here.
Yeah.
So we get the fight scene. I do like he tries the sun getting real low with him.
That is really funny.
And the best part is the face he has with it, because he thinks it's going to work.
Well, the face, and then, like, I don't know, when I first watched it, it's like, oh, wait, is this going to work? Because, like, Hulk does the thing, he turns his hand over, and he's, like, calming down, it looks like. And I was like, did they train everyone to do this? Like, was this...
Can you imagine Tony's like, alright, sun's
Tony's like, I'm not doing that.
Or Clint.
Alright, the sun's getting low, you big muscular pickle. Like, I would love to see a blooper of that. Just sun's getting real low there, bud. Like,
but then he does the famous Hulk smash, like he did to Loki in the first Avengers.
And this is good because Loki's watching this and he's freaking out the whole time because Hulk and Thor are on the same planet. And then he does the thing where he just smashes him into the ground by his feet. And Loki's like, "Yeah, that's how it feels."
To which Grandmaster thinks he's crazy.
Yeah, it's so good.
So we get this fight scene. Eventually, Hulk gets the upper hand. He starts beating Thor. Yeah. Starts getting flashbacks to Odin.
Yes.
And that's when he ascends beyond the realm of your average everyday Asgardian.
I'm not your average everyday Asgardian, Hulk.
He ascends to super Asgardian.
I'm trying my best Vegeta voice, but my throat's messed up now.
But yeah, he uses his thunder, knocks Hulk around. It looks like he's going to like totally decimate him.
Oh, he's totally like running the show at that point.
But the Grandmaster uses the stun or the obedience disc on him, and he's stunned and falls to the ground. And he wakes up in Hulk's bedroom.
Yeah.
Which sounds creepier than when you say it now.
They share a room. They're roommates.
Wow, when you're actually just going over this movie, it sounds very bad.
Yeah, it sounds a little risque. And then we kind of get a background on, like, Hulk's been here, and he's been fighting, and
And it's been Hulk. It has not been Banner.
Yeah, he's been Hulk for over a year now?
2 years.
2 years. He's been Hulk for 2 years now without turning into Banner once. And he likes it because people like Hulk. Where on like Earth they hate him and they're scared of him, but here they like cheer for him.
And Thor asks him to come help save Asgard, and then they'll eventually go to Earth. And Hulk says he's not leaving. He likes it here because of how much he's appreciated.
Right.
So he does point out the Quinjet, though.
Yeah. Where Thor makes a break for that and kind of finds some stuff.
Well, before he tries to make a break for it, but the room's shocked. And shocked again.
That's right.
Which is funny that the Hulk could think about, like, make that much of a plan because we haven't really seen the Hulk been able to do that.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of the Hulk on his own, like
Yeah.
in a non-combat setting.
Yeah, which was funny. We also find that Valkyrie has been training Hulk.
Yeah, and they actually have a good relationship, which is interesting.
So he kind of uses that relationship to get Valkyrie alone, talk about it, and then we probably get the coolest shot of this movie. It's the Valkyrie. Second coolest shot in this movie. The Valkyrie flashback scene. It's just so artistically well done.
It's very like it looks like a painting.
It really does. It looks like a moving painting.
Yeah.
And we go through her background. Basically, the Valkyries were sent in to try and destroy and kill Hela, and they all died except her.
Which again, Valkyries were supposed to be this elite force.
Yeah, I mean it is Hela though.
Yeah,
like Hela's probably the strongest Marvel villain we've had so far.
So far, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So she doesn't want to go back to fight. Then he kind of says, well, Odin's dead, like Asgard's in ruin, Hela's back. And that's when he makes the break for the Quinjet.
Right.
Which we find out he's trying to work it. There's some kind of throwback Avengers humor there, which I like.
So this is funny because he's bragging that he was the strongest Avenger. He's like, it's like, oh, if we need an identification, he's like, strongest Avenger. He's like, Thor, God of Thunder, and it's not working.
Point Break.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a throwback.
I didn't even get that until we rewatched Avengers. Like, oh, now I get this. But as he's trying to get the Quinjet working, Hulk is so upset his friend is leaving that he rips the Quinjet in half, basically.
Yep, because that's Hulk.
And as he's doing that, the video of Black Widow. I almost said Scarlet Witch because her name's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
But Black Widow comes out, kind of the last message she sent before Hulk and Ultron.
Yes.
And that turns him back into Banner for the first time.
Which is interesting because he's like freaking out.
Oh yeah, he can't believe he's been gone for. He thought that literally Sokovia was the day before.
Yeah.
He had no concept of time, or that anything has really changed. He's on an alien planet, like all these bad things.
He's been Hulk for 2 years, which is scary for him.
because he has no recollection of it.
He has to dress like Tony Stark.
Yeah, and Tony apparently wears very tight jeans.
So I'm amazed they are similar sizes. Yeah, I guess.
Ruffalo does seem like he'd be bigger.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a little more built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we got Hulk missing, which sends the Grandmaster into a bit of a tizzy.
They're kind of going through. You get some nice comedy scenes, like when Thor has like a rag on his head.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm using it as a disguise. He's like, but I see your face. He's like, not when I put it over my mouth. And there's a giant Hulk festival going on too.
Yeah.
And which is the last thing Banner wants right now because he just wants to forget about the Hulk for a little bit and relax, and that's not going to happen.
Right.
Eventually, they do meet. The Grandmaster meets with both Loki and Valkyrie. Makes it just like whoever gets them fastest wins. They both go after him. They kind of meet. They kind of have a little fight actually in that scene.
Yeah.
Where Loki kind of gets his butt kicked pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, it's Valkyrie.
Yeah. They eventually all meet up. I'm trying to get through this scene real quickly on Sakaar because I don't think... I mean, it builds story, but there's nothing super interesting or even to discuss. It's kind of almost like an escape plot. It's like a heist movie, but not as well done as Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So they eventually get together. They make the Avengers.
Because Thor's creative.
Yeah, this group that's going to get revenge in Asgard. They steal some ships. It's a ship race scene. All the prisoners are freed too.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's
Thor tricks Loki.
It's kind of... This is a weird movie because I think a lot happens, but it doesn't like advance the plot.
But nothing of consequence.
Nothing of major consequence. It's not even that it's boring while it's happening, but when you try to recap it, like it's nothing substantial to the plot. The whole point is they're trying to get off Sakaar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this little step couldn't get them Sakaar. This little step. I guess the only thing of consequence I can really think of is Loki's about to trick Thor one last time, but Thor has gotten the upper hand on him, had put one of those discs on him, and shocked him because he knew that's what Loki was going to do. Right.
And he gives this whole speech about, like, life's about change, and you just want to stay the same, but you could be so much more.
They do the I need help.
Okay, yeah, where they're arguing, like, I'm not doing I need help. It's embarrassing. And then they're doing it. It's like, I need help. My brother's going to die.
Which basically Loki's limp in Thor's arms.
And he throws him at people.
So they steal the ship. They go through the I think it's the Devil's Anus in the middle of the city, which is a giant collapsing neutron star that makes a Rosenberg bridge apparently. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Science.
Yep.
They get the ships off. They go through there and they end up back at Asgard.
Yep, and they have to stop Hela from getting the Bifrost essentially.
Because Hela has found the refugee camp. Has broken in, so the last-ditch effort for Heimdall, because he's the only real person that could defend them,
right,
is he's going to try and get all the Asgardians to the Bifrost and zap them out that way.
Right.
But... there's John Wolf in the way.
Yep, Fenrir.
Fenrir's in the way of the Bifrost. The army has him trapped on the bridge. It's looking doom and gloom.
In Dexter's lab... no, not in Dexter's lab. You're giving me that look like it's not in Dexter's lab.
It's not, and I can't believe you just dropped a Dexter's Lab reference right now.
Them deep cuts. Them
it is 2018.
Cartoon Network deep cuts.
2018.
It is.
So now we kind of get to the end game, the final scene. Thor is in the throne room actually to kind of deal with Hela.
Yeah. That doesn't go well. He loses an eye.
Yeah, he loses his eye, and I do like that is another funny line where she's like, "Oh, now you look like Dad."
Yeah,
which is he didn't have an eye either.
We get Thor's kind of being held down by Hela, and she's like, "I'm the goddess of death. What are you the god of?" And we get this the kind of mental talk with Odin, where Thor's just like, "I can't win without my hammer. She's too strong." And he's just like, "Are you Thor, the god of hammers? Like, the hammer wasn't your power. It's just to help you control your power."
And that's why he awoke in his Super Asgardian again.
Yes. Oh my god, this is such... Like, from here on the movie, I was into it. Because it was just lightning pouring, Like,
yeah,
it was so
it's just
good.
him going crazy. Like, he doesn't seem like he can control his lightning at all. It's just, like, spewing out of him.
Yeah, it's so good.
I guess we should also say we get the kind of running gag where... they don't know how they're going to stop Fenrir from killing everyone. Yeah. So Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner, says, "I'm going to show you who I am," and jumps. And just like in the original Hulk, he just
eats it.
Just goes
on
the bridge. Which we pointed out in the movie, that was just so you didn't have to pay for a transformation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There. Because as Fenrir walks past, he's about to attack Heimdall, and the Hulk comes out and he's fighting Fenrir.
Yeah.
So you get the Hulk fighting Fenrir, you get Valkyrie, Loki, Heimdall, the workers with jobs, prisoners with jobs, all fighting this undead army, and it's just a giant mass army thing.
It's pretty good. You get eventually Thor gets away and starts fighting the army. It's like really cool.
Yeah, just the music. I forget what the song's called.
I couldn't tell you.
But it's a very well done song. It's a classic rock song. I can tell you that. Land of the Ice and Snow and. If there's someone that likes classic rock, they're hating us right now.
Where's Mike?
Yeah, Mike's hating us right now.
Yeah, it's just an awesome scene, and it ends with all the Asgardians getting on the ship, and Scourge is the only one who can really defend them.
Yeah, Hela has pierced the ship with like one of her giant swords that she has, and they're coming up. There's no one left, so he pulls Des and Troy out,
and in the most miraculous BS scene, we need a bullet count because there's no way he's not.
He went through at least 5 clips on each gun without reloading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Odin enhanced AR-15s.
They were pin particles. They were all tiny
bullets. They were all tiny bullets that explode out like regular sized bullets. That actually makes more sense. And he sacrifices himself to save Asgard. We get our three... not our three heroes. We get Loki, Valkyrie, Thor against Hela. They don't think they can beat her one-on-one. They know they can't beat her one-on-one.
Yeah.
So Thor comes up with the craziest idea ever.
Initiate Ragnarok.
Basically, this whole thing he's been trying to prevent, he says we need to have happen.
Yeah, so Loki's mission is to take the crown of Sotir?
Yeah.
Into the eternal flame and revive him to destroy Asgard.
And while he's there, he grabs a little trinket.
Ooh, little blue cube. Little blue cube we've seen before.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen that in a long time, though.
We haven't. We saw it for like 2 movies pretty much back to back and nothing.
Yeah. So not since Avengers, I guess. It was the last time we saw it.
Yep.
So he has the Tesseract. Soltyr comes back the size of a mountain, literally as tall as the giant towers of Asgard.
Yep.
And destroys Asgard.
Yeah, it just starts going to town.
Brings out Ragnarok.
Hela tries to stop him. You know,
Does
Hulk tries to stop him.
Well, I want to point out something here. So I want to correct myself because I've said this on several podcasts now. That I didn't think they actually showed Hela being killed.
Yeah, no, she did.
Yeah, she did. On the rewatch, because I've only seen this... the only time I saw this was the one time in theaters.
Yeah.
So I was thought like, oh, well, they didn't really show her dying. Maybe she like got out or she's still lingering somewhere. Mm-hmm. No, she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
They show her disintegrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then Hulk sees a giant monster, so naturally he tries to smash it. And Thor has to tell him, like, no, this actually has to happen.
Yeah, and he's like, but giant monster.
Oh, that Hulk.
Yeah. Oh, Hulk.
He suplexed a wolf off a giant waterfall.
He suplexed a giant wolf. Also, that wolf bit through him and there was blood. That wolf was going to die from cancer anyway, from all that radiation.
Probably. Probs.
So...
And then we get our final scene. They're on the refugee ship, and this is the one that we really don't like.
This is the worst Korg scene. If you remove Korg from this scene would have been good.
I think if you remove... If Korg doesn't say anything here, I think you'd like Korg a lot more.
I would. Because, Suture's in the middle...
So this was the Iron Man 3 of the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Suture's in the middle of, destroying Asgard, and the entire, city essentially erupts. And he's like, there's a foundation there, and we can build on top of it. And when we do... That's British, not New Zealand, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like, and when we do, it will be a haven for aliens and all
Asgardians
and all races of the universe. And then the entire disc explodes. I'm not going to say planet because it's not. It's a disc.
No, it's a planet. It's flat. It's a flat Earth.
I hate flat Asgard theory. And so the whole thing explodes, and he's like, oh no, never mind, it's gone. And I'm like, why?
Because this should be a somber moment. Literally, Thor has lost his dad, his hammer, and now his home.
Guardians 2 made a joke and still had a somber end.
Yes. Yes, they did.
And it was good.
This did not do that very well. So we get this moment. We now know that Thor has to be king of Asgard. He doesn't have a choice anymore. And he says, let's go to Earth.
Yeah, and Loki, he thinks Loki's not there. Thinks it's another illusion, but he is.
Yep, and they're all together. And I guess we should also point out the after credit scene just because it ties in so well with the new movie.
It Rogue One's the end of this movie.
Basically, the ending of this movie. I guess we have
a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler, but I guess we should put our cards on the table. We have already seen Infinity War when we're doing this episode.
Opening night.
So we have just actually seen Infinity War when we're recording this. So it does, spoiler if you really want to. I don't think so.
It's the first 30 seconds of the movie.
Yeah, the first 30 seconds of the movie is the end credit scene.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's not a spoiler. What happened in the movie? Dude, no, it's not a spoiler if it happens. I'm going to say if it happens within the first minute of the movie, it's not a spoiler.
Okay, well, some people get very sensitive.
And I'm saying that for every movie ever.
Okay, you're on record now.
I'm on record. If it happens within the first minute of a movie, that's not a spoiler.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's fair, because nothing really unfolds majorly in the first minute of a movie.
There's probably something I can prove you wrong, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, right. So...
Anyway, so that's Thor Ragnarok. I think it's a good movie. It's a safe movie. I don't think it takes a ton of chances.
No.
I think it's trying to stick with a formula, and it does the formula well, but I think it is kind of predictable.
I feel like now that Thor's, part of the space MCU,
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking, well, all space MCU movies have to be funny. And then they did this, and it was like, oh no, we did it wrong.
No, I think they knew what they were doing with this, and this is a very well-received movie.
People like it, but...
I think it's good. I think it is our best Thor movie. Mm-hmm. I just think, like I said, I think it plays it a little safe. I think you could have went a lot of different ways with this, especially when you're talking about a lot of family and loss in this.
Mm-hmm.
And you get some of that development in the movie, but I don't think you get a ton.
Yeah.
There's never a moment where you really see, Thor grieving.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you think in a span of a couple of years, he's lost all his family, his entire home, his hammer, everything.
Yeah.
All his friends.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend, kind of. Though that might be a addition by subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think they had a formula. They hit it well. I think it's a well-done movie. But I think it's a safe movie. I think it's a little forgettable.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's fresh in our minds because it's less than a year old. Mm-hmm. But I think if you really break it down, it's a somewhat forgettable movie. Like, this is not a movie I'm going to say you have to watch if you've never seen a Marvel movie.
No.
And on that note, since we've already kind of been talking about ranking it, why don't we get on our shield scale here?
Why don't we get onto that shield scale? The shield scale, patented, made by our scientists, using the most outdated technology we could possibly find.
Is that a challenge? I can probably get more outdated.
Oh, God, please don't.
We're looking at the scoundrel of the movie. How's the villain portrayed, which is going to be Hela in this instance. The hero, do we want to lump Loki in this, or are we just going to focus on Thor?
Let's focus on Thor.
Okay, so it's just going to be our opinions on Thor in this movie. The development, his powers, all that. The integrity of this movie, we're looking more... This would be effects. I think the effects are pretty well done in this movie. Yeah. So we're going to focus more on the storyline and the story structure. I've kind of tipped my hand already on.
Yeah.
The entertainment value of this movie, how entertaining is this movie? Yeah. Did we enjoy watching it? The Lee cameo for L here. Stan Lee, how he do in this movie for his little cameo, and then the development of the MCU as a whole.
Yes.
So let's start with Hela, the scoundrel.
I mean, what? Well, I feel like to look at this one, we have to look at our previous Thor villains, right?
Do we have to?
Well, this is the trilogy piece.
Okay.
So comparison. So first one we had Loki,
which I think was well done. You have the family ties,
Loki
kind of not knowing his origins, all that.
Second one we had
Malekith.
I was going to say the Doctor.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Terrible.
Nothing to him. Hela, I mean, they kind of go back to that family ties bit of the lost sister. She's very powerful.
I do like how they've kind of kept this theme of, like, the sins of your past haunting you.
Yes.
That they've had throughout Phase 3, starting with Iron Man. You have that with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
You have that a little bit with Spider-Man. Not necessarily his sins of the past, but the sins of the past.
Right.
So I kind of like that idea that they've kept that in there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hela. I don't think there's a lot to her motivation-wise.
Yeah, I think her motivation's kind of weak. I think she's pretty generic.
She's just a bad person, you know?
Yeah, she's just evil, and she wants to conquer. I just kind of like the family tie a little bit more, so she might be slightly above average for me. But yeah, I mean, and her powers are kind of cool.
Her powers are cool. I do like that. I think the fact that she can just, like, make weapons and is, like, an expert with them is really cool. And honestly, even though her scenes are, like, totally make everyone else look like weak, she's like, her scenes are really cool where she is fighting.
That's true. Like the cinematography,
like, just like throwing daggers and like slicing people up. It's really cool.
Yeah, and especially like when you think of the Valkyrie scene, just how awesome that looks. Talking me up a little bit,
man. I was gonna give her a 2.5. I kind of want to give her a 3.
Oh wow, I'm gonna go 3.25.
Okay.
I think it's above average. And you talked me up. I was probably going to go about 2.753 again. Too. You talked me about how cool it looks, like the cinematography, just her powers in general. Yeah, I think it's cool, but I think it's very bland, especially when we're coming from.
Well, when you look at it critically, like first time watch, I'm sure I would have been like, "Hell is so cool," but like critically, there's not a lot to her.
Like you think of like the recent villains we've had the Vulture, Killmonger. Even, I mean, we're coming off Civil War. I mean, Doctor Strange is kind of weak, but I think there have been stronger villains in there. But I think she is definitely above average when we think about the Marvel villains, because that's always been their problem.
Right.
And they're doing a lot better job.
They are.
All right. I might be a homer here, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit with Thor. I loved Thor's development here as a hero.
Okay. Him
kind of taking ownership of being a hero. The idea of him like overcoming his inefficiencies when he doesn't have his hammer.
Yeah.
Him going Super Saiyan is the coolest thing in the MCU.
Yes, it is.
His powers are so cool. I kind of get his development, but I think just the writing was a little too meh for me.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like, it's so memorable what he does in this movie. Like.
Yes.
When he's fighting the Hulk, when he's fighting in the final scene, it's so memorable. Even the beginning scene is pretty memorable, the way he's using his hammer and stuff. I like the kind of completion of the story arc. The didn't want to become king, reluctant king, to now he's forced to.
Yeah.
The loss of everything has kind of given him that perspective, even his eye, that now he's like, well, this is my purpose now. I'm going to go 4.
No, I agree with you on a lot of those. I mean, they do a great character arc with him over these 3 movies. They They cover a lot of the themes you talked about, like the loss and stuff, and having to rise up to the occasion even though you're not as well equipped for it. It's really good. Yeah, I'm going to join you on the 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dude, the Super Saiyan stuff is kind of what pushed me. That, like, I remember seeing that trailer and being like, oh, because it was just so cool with his eyes glowing. And yes, in the trailer he had 2. They totally...
Oh, yeah, that was like the first instance I can really think of Marvel editing away.
They swaffer donked us so hard.
Yeah, so they did very good on that. That was one good marketing thing they did with this movie.
Yeah.
Integrity of the story. Again, a very bland story.
It's I will say it's probably the most comic book story we've gotten. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've had a giant planet villain. That's pretty comic booky.
We have, but this was like crazy, colorful alien world and like alien gladiators. Like it was kind of comic booky.
Oh, it was very comic booky. I'm just saying we had a giant planet. I don't know if you can say it's the most comic book.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, what do we remember on Integrity?
Integrity, yeah.
This had to be pitched as Planet Hulk.
I think it was saying we want to do a Hulk-ish movie, and this is the best way to do it.
Because they've learned Hulk just isn't a great standalone.
Well, they also then have to work with Universal.
That's true. Yeah, Hulk. I mean, this was Planet Hulk, but they worked Thor into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's alright. I don't know. The story isn't great.
And I think
the effects are great.
The other thing I'm going to lump in there is I think some of the writing with the jokiness of it.
Yeah, they need to, like, it wasn't as bad. It didn't...
It wasn't Iron Man 3.
It wasn't Iron Man 3. But, like, they did... It just... When they have a tone, especially set up by the beginning of this movie, of this, like, kind of melancholic, like, lost tone, and then they kind of ruin that, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I feel like they should have let that breathe a little more.
I think I'm gonna hurt a lot of people here.
Okay.
2.25.
Man, I was gonna go 2. So.
Oh wow! Every time I think I'm going low, you're just like, nope, going lower.
I'm one for if a story's going sad and you're gonna like explore parts of this character you haven't, let it happen. You know.
Kind of treat your. We're on this ride now for like 18 movies. Treat us like we actually know what we're doing. I mean, we know what we're watching.
I want to see more Thor being upset that he just lost everything, you know?
And it doesn't have to be the whole movie, but there's literally no scene of it.
Like, I think it would have been interesting if Thor took his rage out on Hulk.
And, well, here, I'll even go farther. There's more development about Thor from the effects of this movie in Infinity War than there are in this movie.
Yes. Slight spoiler.
No, I don't think so. I didn't say anything.
That's true.
So I'm going to.
Boy, you confirmed Thor's in Infinity War.
Oh, no! What did I do? Entertainment, though. I think this is kind of hard because I think I'm going to prove here you can have an entertaining movie that doesn't have a good story.
Yeah.
And I think this movie's very entertaining. I enjoy the effects. I enjoy the action scenes. I enjoy most of the jokes.
This is a great like a Saturday night movie. You're hanging out with your buddies. You just want to hang out and have a good time.
Like, it's a movie that, like, you could hang out with your buddies and, like, talk about stuff.
And while
then be
it's
like,
in the background.
oh, man, watch this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is a perfect movie for that.
Yeah, and that's fine to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of incendiary, but I think it's, like, a solid, like, what, 3?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah. I was, 3 sounds about right.
You can throw it on at a party, people, or like you have friends over, you kind of enjoy it, you point things out, you're still having a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, the one thing I do have against it, the Sakaar escape scene, it's a lot of cool steps and interesting steps to get...
Drags.
It does drag a little bit in the middle. Leologist here.
Man, it's not the worst one. I like it. I thought it was funny. I really thought it was funny. Because it did what you love. It interacted with the story.
It does interact with the story, kind of. Well, it does explain... Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought it was good. I'm not going to give it a 4. I'll give it above it. Maybe I'll go 3.25 because I actually laughed when I saw it the first time.
I'm going to go a little lower than that.
That's fine.
I think we're going to go 2.75. Just...
Okay.
It's there. It's there. That's kind of what I'll say. It's there. It does tie in the plot, I guess, a little bit. But
I just really laughed at the interaction of it, of like him being like, "My hands aren't as steady," and Thor being like, "I will rage down upon you," and then he opens it up. He's like, "Sir, please don't cut my hair." I just really laughed at that the first time I saw it, so I enjoyed that one.
It's okay.
That development.
All about that development. So let's
do our famous list off.
All right. So we find. Oh, sorry, it was just real loud outside. Odin's gone.
Odin's gone.
Thor is interacting now with Doctor Strange, so we have that connection.
Yep. Mjolnir's gone.
Mjolnir's gone. We find out where Hulk is. We get Hulk back into the picture.
Yep.
I guess the Tesseract's mentioned, but let's talk about the big thing here. Asgard's gone.
Asgard's destroyed. There's no going back to Asgard.
The foundations are destroyed.
It's gone.
Asgard's gone.
Flat Asgard's gone.
We kind of have Loki and Thor reunited. Heimdall's back in the picture.
Heimdall,
Love
baby.
me some Heimdall.
Get that Idris Elba paycheck, dude. I don't like that look again. Loki and Thor are back on good terms.
Yeah, so... Yeah, and Thor's now king of Asgard.
Yes.
So
and
he's developed his powers.
Yes.
So I think it develops the MCU a little bit. I don't think it's the worst in the world, but really, if we're looking at the whole universe, how much of it is Thor's development? How much of it is the MCU's development?
Right.
So I think this is one where it's a lot of development on Thor, but if I'm looking at the MCU, I think the big one we take away is Asgard's gone.
Yeah. Which
really, though, none of the MCU characters besides Hulk for about 10 minutes has interacted with Asgard.
True.
So...
I'm going to throw in a big one, too, and don't get mad at me here. Mjolnir's gone. That was Thor's iconic thing.
Yes, you're right. Mjolnir is gone, and that is kind of his stroke. But again, I guess, is that a Thor development, or is that an MCU development?
That's Thor development, I suppose. You're right.
That's going to be my argument. So I think this is a 2.25.
Yeah. I'll go 2.5. I think it's average.
Okay, yeah, I think it's just when you look at the MCU as a whole, I don't think it does a ton of development there.
You get rid of one thing, like one major thing that actually affects the world and displaces a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh, scientists came back. The last one we've got the last of the canon we've got to add before Infinity War.
Oh man.
So I actually didn't count this, but Thor does come in our list right below Avengers: Age of Ultron, and right above the first Thor.
Holding true to our promise, our prediction.
Yeah, so it's literally almost smack dab in the middle of our movies, which I think's fair because when you look at what's above it, I think that's valid. Looking at that, all those other movies I probably except maybe Age of Ultron.
I was gonna say, would you rather watch Ultron over Thor?
That would probably be the one I would disagree with, but if I look at the rest of them, I think I basically agree with this. Hey, let's just take a quick second now that we're done.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about our top 5? Now it's set in stone; it can't change.
Well, I mean, are we gonna put Infinity War on this?
I mean, yeah, but this is the last one before Infinity War,
okay.
So let's talk about it. So the Winter Soldier 1, Avengers the first one 2, Guardians 2, 3, Black Panther 4, Spider-Man 5. Think that's right?
Yeah, I think
after rewatching.
I mean, personally, I think those are all great movies I'd watch.
Yeah, I think they're all. I think that is the cream of the crop. I could argue maybe the order they're in.
Right. I could argue the order, but if we're just looking like top 5.
I guess the only one I could maybe question is if I had to switch, maybe Civil War for Guardians 2.
Really?
I might make that argument. Maybe I'll have to rewatch both of them back to back and just see.
I mean, I like Guardians 2, but I also like comedy a lot. So, the only one I would argue place-wise is maybe Black Panther. I think I might bump that up one. But
you think it would move it up?
Would you move it down?
I don't know. I mean, we've only seen it once. It's been a while, and it was in theaters, and we didn't have our note system or a scientist.
Well, yeah, because we don't want to be the creeps in the theater taking notes.
Yeah, that is weird. So, and then our bottom, Iron Man 2, The Hulk, Thor 2.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I'm a little bit surprised is Doctor Strange is actually in our bottom 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I kind of forgot about a lot of stuff in that movie.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of surprising. But I guess when you have this many movies...
It was an effects show is what it was.
It was a very good effects show, though. So this is it, Connor.
Man, we've come a long way. We've spent the last, I'm going to say 5 months of our life
getting ready for this movie that we've already seen.
Yeah.
That we're going to do a review on next week.
Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah, this was going to work out perfect. We should be seeing it tonight, actually.
Yeah, we should. Worst.
But yeah, the next week you'll get our final review of Infinity War. Do we want to give any thoughts, opinions of it now? Or I guess probably not, because if someone hasn't seen it and they're expecting this to just be Ragnarok.
If you want our thoughts, or if you want our predictions of it, of who's safe, who's not, go check out our bonus episode.
Yeah, go check out the bonus episode. The bonus episode's nice. I know we also had a little bit of a snafu with the upload, so you're getting 2 of these podcasts very close together.
It wasn't the upload. It was one was private, and I didn't know about it. I thought it was unprivate.
So this is coming out right after Spider-Man. Yeah. But yeah, next week we are going to do our recap of Infinity War. I think that's going to be a little different. We're not going to go through the plot, I think, as much as the talking points.
I think we should have it more of a discussion, because it's so fresh. People are going to see it.
Yeah, so... what else to say except thank you to the Couch Gnomes for this lovely YouTube time.
I mean, you've heard it 18 times before. We stream Fridays.
I guess also we'll tease something first before we do all this.
What are we teasing?
We're gonna have a special announcement after the. Our true listeners might already have a hint where we're going with this.
Yes, we've brought up sparingly. But
we're going to have a special announcement after the Infinity War podcast. Just because the journey's over doesn't mean the podcast is over.
Yeah. We've... The genesis of this podcast does not mean it's ending,
Yes. Just because we've gone to the greatest cinematic event. Because now we got to get ready for 4.
Oh, man. The Untitled.
Untitled. But yeah.
Before we move on, that's the scariest thing, man. They literally said we're not going to release the title because it's a spoiler for Infinity War. When they said that, when I read that, I was like, oh, that's scary.
It's coming out with Ant-Man. I think that's what's going to happen.
It's going to be Avengers 4, Ant-Man.
Yes. That's actually it.
Avengers 4, Ronin.
Yes. Anyway, but yeah, thanks to the Couch Gnomes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
all that jazz.
General social media. Can I tell you the shirt thing some other time?
Oh gosh, I didn't have it pulled up.
Are you gonna play it? Okay,
I wasn't prepared. Vamp.
Yeah, you can catch us on social media. Feel free to contact us. What do you think about our list? Put your own top 5 list. Do you think we're right? Do you think your system's better than our scientific system using the 70s? What is it?
If I had to find a cool shirt to cover up my shameful body.
Shop.spreadshirt.com/couchgnomes.
Yeah, coming in with the save.
I will say we did get our shirts. They're very nice.
We did. Your lovely wife got a shirt.
Yeah.
Not the same color. I mean, could have sported that candy red, but I guess you want to have it.
The girls had different colors.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a maroon.
I do not like that. I will look into that.
All right. Yeah, but get your shirts. Watch them stream on Twitch every Friday from 6 till 8ish.
We stream during the week. I think Kanai streams God of War on Saturdays.
So there you go. So a lot of streaming options there. Do we have? You get your custom flare now or something like that?
We're working on that.
Okay.
We got to work out a lot of details since we've become not partnered, whatever it's called. We're working on a lot on how to what we can and can't do, and we're working on we just set up our donations finally. So that's all set up, so you can donate bits and stuff, and that's cool. We're working on the emotes. We are. We're trying to get that done. We definitely wanted That's a Shirt emote because that's such a big joke for our channel. But yeah.
Yeah, so check them out. Like I said, we'll be back next week for a final Infinity War and a little tease of the future of the podcast.
Brendon, we've done it. We made it. We made it.
No, we still have to do one more recording, and then we can say we've made it.
I know, but we've made it to this point. 18 podcasts. 18 weeks.
18. Well, yeah.
18 weeks.
Ish. All right, guys. Catch you next week for Infinity War.
See ya.